What's going on YouTube? Today we have an Apex Legends settings video. I've had a few people request that I share my settings, so I figure why not make a video so that way I can walk through each of my decisions and why I have that setting enabled. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope they can help you. If you do enjoy the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Alright, I'm just going to walk through some settings here. I've had a few people ask for settings videos, so I figured here are some of the things that I would really highlight as settings to change. Starting off, I would say the interact prompt style. I would say always go compact. It'll take up less of your screen, give you a little bit more visibility. Crosshair damage feedback and damage numbers, I don't really have any changes on. Ping opacity, I leave as default. That's really a personal preference thing. Minimap rotation, I prefer it to be on. Some people prefer it to be off. Again, another personal preference thing. Weapon auto cycle on empty. Again, another personal preference thing. I just prefer it to be on, so that way as soon as I run out of ammo, it will automatically swap my gun, and it's just another thing that I don't have to think about. Auto sprint, I prefer off. Double tap sprint, also prefer to be off. Jetpack control, that's obviously for when you're playing Valk. I prefer that to be toggle. Some people, again, prefer it to be hold. The rest of this, I put performance display on just because I like to see how many frames I'm getting, see if I'm having any network connectivity issues, all of that stuff. Reticle laser sight, I customized my reticle color. I personally went with this number right here that you'll see, which is 128 on the red, 17 on the green, and 0 on the blue. That's just a personal preference thing. You can realistically put it at whatever color you would like it to be. Next, we'll go on over to controller settings. I just have the default button layout here. I do play on an Xbox controller, so this is accurate. On occasion, if you plug in a PlayStation controller to your PC, it will show Xbox controls still, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. This is truly all Xbox controls on my end. Interact reload button, I do use tap to use and reload. I prefer to just have a tap to reload instead of having to hold. It's just a little bit faster. Crouch, toggle, aim, hold. Survival slot button, I prefer to have that on, so that way if I do want to use heat shields, I don't have to go into my inventory. I feel that's easier as a controller player to have that button. Trigger dead zones, I use default. Menu cursor speed, I have about probably, I want to say 50% or so. I just prefer to be able to move faster. Again, a personal preference thing. Here we get into the movement and aiming. So I've had a few people ask about sensitivity settings, so here we go. Look sensitivity I have at 5 or very high. Look sensitivity while aiming down sight I have as high or 4. Per optic settings is where we're really going to get into it. I do have some differences here, so I do have per optic ADS sensitivity enabled. So with the 1x and iron sights and the 2x, I have it set to 4, so it's my typical ADS sensitivity. For anything with a higher zoom, I go with a default or 3. I feel like it just gives me a little bit more control. Again, this is a personal preference thing, but if you want to give it a shot, feel free to. Response curve for aim assist is classic. Look dead zone I have as small, just it eliminates the minimal stick drift that I currently have. Movement dead zone, small. Inverted look is off. I do not like playing inverted. It actually breaks my brain if I try. Vibration on, again, that's a personal preference thing. Some people don't like vibration just because they feel like it doesn't really add any value. I play with a wired controller, so it also doesn't impact any battery life. Again, it's a personal preference thing, and I just have always liked having vibration to give me that little bit of an extra cue when certain things are happening. Some people have asked if I have advanced look controls. I do not. I do not use advanced look controls. I just use basic look controls here, and again, that's what I just walked through. Feel free to give it a try if you'd like. I've also had people ask now about kind of what my display and res solutions are, so let's get into that. I play on full screen. Leave the aspect ratio alone. I play on 1440. I play with a brightness of 50 and an FOV of 110. This is just something that I prefer. FOV ability scaling I have as disabled. Sprint view shake I have as minimal. I don't like the screen shake. I actually feel like it takes away from the experience a little bit and just kind of is unnecessary. All right, VSync I have as disabled. NVIDIA reflex I have as enabled. Adaptive resolution FPS target I have as 0. I don't really have many big changes here. Just to kind of go through everything, I do play on high settings. This is all personal preference, and it also is because of the specs of my computer. I am currently using a 3090, which is how I'm able to run all of these high settings. I do turn them down here and there on occasion to help kind of boost my frames. However, I like playing on higher resolution settings just because, again, of a personal preference type thing. I like to be able to see the game better. I like having a higher quality image. So again, that's all personal preference. Next up is audio settings. Nothing really crazy here. I have my master volume turned down to 85. I believe I used to have that slightly lower. Sound effect volumes I have at 100. I turned down dialogue volume because I would rather hear other things over that. Music volume I always have turned down just because I don't want to hear the music. And that's pretty much it. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys are able to get what you're looking for here.